after the muscles that we discussed about external, oblique, internal, and transverse, we reach to fascia. Under the muscle of transverse abdominis, what do we have there? Transverse fascia. And when we remove transverse fascia, we reach to
Peritoneum.
I thought peritoneum is a kind of connective tissue that has ability to secrete and absorb. Yes, it's very important. And my colleague in histology will explain about that. But again, if we back to yesterday, I mentioned you that the cavity that the peritoneum cover should be intact. Yes? It means the peritoneum should cover all part of the abdomen without any rupture or piercing by anything. Okay? Imagine this room if we our abdomen, diaphragm, and side part. Okay? If we have if an elastic cover push all of the walls, okay? Are you here?
Yes.
If an plastic layer cover all parts of this room and someone open the door and come inside, first of all, stay back of this elastic form. Yes? And then when gradually come inside, this elastic cover him like this and continue with the other part. Exactly when he reach here at the middle part again, attached to the wall but by a sling of this elastic fiber. Yes? It's happening in our abdomen. Look here. If this be a section through the abdominal cavity, a transverse section, and this be a gut tube, a digestive tube, okay, and this be aorta, and this be IVC. So these two should be kidneys on the left and right side. Yes? So this is the peritoneum. As I mentioned you, an elastic layer that cover all parts. As the gut, the digestive system, growing up and being larger, it's come gradually inside of this cavity and completely covered by a layer of peritoneum and attached to the posterior wall by a two layer of this peritoneum. Yes? It's happening in our body because at the fetal life, when we are just as a fetus, digestive system being like this, a tube from the oral cavity to the anus, like this. But gradually it's changed and being bigger in some parts and make a stomach and a small intestine, large intestine, like this. Look here. If this be diaphragm, esophagus, pierce the diaphragm, come inside the abdomen, and that tube changed, some parts of that tube changed to stomach. This is stomach under the diaphragm at the left side. Okay? This tube should be changed and make some parts same as the stomach. And then we have from this part is started a small intestine. The first 10 inches of the small intestine made duodenum. Okay? So this should be duodenum. And then it's curved and being large, fill all of this part
Small intestine.
and divide into two parts, jejunum and ileum. And finally, on the right, the small intestine joined to the large intestine, and from this part, the part that the ileum joined the large intestine, below this one is cecum. And above this, it should be ascending colon. And then, at the most upper part of our body, it flex and make the transverse colon. Sorry, transverse colon should be like this. Make transverse colon. And then at the left side, again, we have an flexion here, then it's come down and make the descending. And then sigmoid, same as S, and rectum, finally rectum goes through the diaphragm and make anal canal. So here we have at the left side of the second, this is the appendix. Okay? So the digestive system divides into 10 inches at the beginning. I mean, the esophagus made the first 10 inch, and then abdomen again is made another 10 inches, and third one is duodenum. So duodenum, stomach, and esophagus, each one, legs of each one is 10 inches. But the point for the duodenum is this, that as you see here, starting at the end of the stomach and joined to the jejunum. I mean, after the fourth part of the duodenum, we say jejunum, okay? And the jejunum changed to ileum and attached to this one. But point about the duodenum is this, that the duodenum made by 4 parts, like this. It's the same as C. And the first part, second, third, and fourth. The first part of the duodenum is 2 inches. The second part is 3. Third part, 4, and last one is 1 inch. So by this, the duodenum made a tube that the length is 10 inches. First one, 2 inches. Second one, 3. Third one, 4. And last one, just 1. It should be, I mean, this tube, that means a long tube, all the posterior part of the peritoneum should change. And by changing of this, I mean the straight tube to that complicated tube, so it changed the face of the peritoneum inside our cavity. And we would be aware about some terms. For example, we say peritoneal cavity, 1. Peritoneal cavity. Look carefully, please. Peritoneal cavity is a cavity between this and this. Between this and this. What are these? We say visceral. This one is visceral. Visceral. And this one is parietal. Parietal peritoneum. Parietal peritoneum. Peritoneum. So, the peritoneum that covers the intestine, we say visceral peritoneum. and the peritoneum that covered the side, we say parietal. Again, I back to the example that I mentioned before at the first of the class. I said that if this were abdomen and covered by an elastic layer, when someone opened the door, first at the beginning is covered, the same as the figure number 1, covered by this elastic. That now at that part we say peritoneum, but it's not elastic form. Then when he come inside, covered, as you see in figure number 2, covered by this layer here. Then finally, when reaching at the mid, it covered completely and attached to the door by a band, 2 layers of this elastic. We say to this element that's coming inside, we say intraperitoneal organs. Any organs that the same that person who came inside like this, to this we say intraperitoneal organ. Intraperitoneal organ is an organ that completely covered by peritoneum. Parietal visceral peritoneum. Completely covered except the side that it attached to the posterior wall by these 2 layers. Okay? All the other organs, same as these 2 kidneys and anything that we have, it left at the posterior wall, we say retro peritoneal organ. Yes? Any organs just covered by peritoneum, by parietal peritoneum, we say
retroperitoneal organ. Like kidneys? Like kidneys?
Yes, kidneys. And here in the class, anything that's covered by that elastic layer, like this, that, we say to all of them, retroperitoneal, intraperitoneal. Peritoneal space. Where was the peritoneal space? Peritoneal cavity or peritoneal space? Between visceral and parietal. Any space that remains. Here, in this part, we say peritoneal cavity. And it's better here you keep in your mind that peritoneal cavity can be divided into greater and lesser peritoneal cavity. So, we have 2 peritoneal cavities, great and lesser. Greater and lesser peritoneal cavity. Here, this one is greater peritoneal cavity. So, lesser peritoneal cavity should be a space behind the stomach. Look here, if I remove the stomach, behind of the stomach there is a space. We say peritoneal cavity, lesser peritoneal cavity. Peritoneal cavity divided to greater and lesser. Intraperitoneal organs, any organs that covered by the peritoneal. Retroperitoneal organs, any organs that just covered by parietal peritoneum. Another term that should be informed here, back to this, any attachment of the intraperitoneal organs to the posterior wall should be by these 2 layers of peritoneum. It depends which part of this system we are speaking about that attached to the posterior wall. This should be different for naming. We use a prefix. For example, we say for a small intestine. So all the small intestine are intraperitoneal and attached to the posterior wall by mesentery. By what? Mesentery. So when I use mesentery, it means band of the small intestine that attach the small intestine to the posterior wall. Yes? Where is our small intestine? At the end of the fourth part of the duodenum. After this part, of course, duodenum belongs to the small intestine, but the mobile part starts from here, jejunum and ileum. Jejunum and ileum. Duodenum, then jejunum and ileum. These are three parts of the small intestine. First 10 inches belong to
duodenum.
duodenum. Before the duodenum, again, we have 10 inches. That is
Stomach.
stomach. Before the stomach, again, 10 inches belong to the esophagus. After duodenum, all the legs, I mean, or small intestine should be around 7 meters. Okay? So, after the duodenum, these parts divide into jejunum and ileum. All of these parts are mobile and attached to the posterior wall by
Mesentery.
mesentery. Don't forget. But for other parts that attach to the posterior wall, we should use a prefix saying this. Meso. Meso what? This is the intraperitoneum and has meso. Meso appendix. Meso appendix. And for this part, this one is sigmoid. We say mesosigmoid. Here again, this part is intraperitoneal. We say mesotransverse colon. Secum, ascending colon, transverse colon, descending colon, and sigmoid. Which one of them was intraperitoneal? Secum is intraperitoneal, but has not any meso. It is intraperitoneal without any meso. Ascending colon is retroperitoneal. Transverse, because it has meso, we say intraperitoneal. Descending, retro. Sigmoid, intra. Rectum, retro. One by one. Intra, retro, intra, retro, intra, retro. Peritoneal. Okay? So, another term that we should be aware about that, back to the what? Ligaments. What are ligaments? Ligaments are parts of the peritoneum, that may be attached to intraperitoneal organs to each other, or attached one intraperitoneal organ to an retroperitoneal organs. I will more explain. Look here, what was this? Stomach. And here we have this one. Spleen. Spleen. Spleen is intraperitoneal. Spleen is an intraperitoneal organ. What does it mean when I say intraperitoneal organ? It means it's covered by peritoneum and should have meso, or it maybe has not any meso, same as secum, but it has meso. And look here, this is the right kidney and this one is left kidney, yes? Imagine if we have a stomach here, if this be a cut of the stomach and this be a cut of the spleen, a stomach and a spleen completely are intraperitoneal. It means they cover by peritoneum like this. It's covered by peritoneum, and from this side attached to the spleen, and then a spleen attached to the kidney like this. These attachments of the peritoneum that let them connected to each other by these two layers of peritoneum are ligaments. Because the organs, we name that ligaments. For example, we say gastrosplenic. Gastrosplenic means it's a meso, it's a ligament, it's a peritoneum fold between stomach and
Spleen.
spleen. So we say gastrosplenic. What? Ligament. And again, between spleen and the kidney, we have another ligament. We say, excellent, renal ligament. Renal ligament. So, any ligaments that we have in our body, back to the original insertion, we can name them. And, of course, look here, stomach, yes, spleen. From the anterior side, when you open the abdominal wall, you face to this shape, like this. Stomach, spleen. But in transverse section, it should be like this. And here, stomach attached superiorly to the, what is this line here? Diaphragm. So, again, we can use a term as gastrophrenic ligament. So, gastrophrenic ligament means stomach attached to the diaphragm, as you can see here. Stomach attached to the spleen, gastrosplenic. Spleen attached to the posterior wall of the kidney, renal. And, of course, the peritoneum. I said about the stomach that is completely intra-peritoneum. Yes? The stomach is completely intra-peritoneum. Look here. If this be the stomach, esophagus, cross the diaphragm, reach to the stomach. This one is greater curvature of the stomach, and then this one is lesser curvature of the stomach. Look here, I mentioned at the beginning of the class that our digestive system from the oral cavity to the anus was like this as fetal life. But gradually it grows and being larger, longer, and made all that parts that you can see here. Just the small intestine, length of the small intestine being 7 meters. Okay? So all of these should be, again, back to the abdominal cavity. First, at the fetal life, they come out in amnion liquid that there is in the uterus of the mom. Okay? Then, when they grow and being larger, they should be extrude and then come back to the abdominal cavity. In this going out and coming back, something happens. Okay? Some parts being larger and attached to each other, or some changing in the peritoneal attachment will be acute. Now, I would like to tell you when the stomach being like this as fetal life, the second 10 inches of that gut, that tube, it is going to make a stomach. A stomach is like that, yes? First of all, being like this, a tube. Just it was a tube like this, and then change to this. Imagine my hand. When I say my hand, I mean from this part, okay? Imagine, first of all, the stomach being like this, and then unequally grew and being larger. Then make a shape like this. I mean, the stomach in our body being like this esophagus. This is the lesser curvature, and this one being the
greater curvature.
Greater curvature. First of all, located in our body like this. Then, because some growing in the organs around the stomach and some extra factors, it turn like this. At first, the lesser curvature look forward. Then, because of the growing our organs around this, is rotate around its long axis like this. Yes? So, the lesser curvature look to the right. Greater curvature look to the So imagine lesser curvature look to the right, greater curvature look to the left. But it's not the same as my hand. Yes? My hand, if rotate like this, then rotate around this axis and become like this, then it makes this one. Yes? What I state that our stomach, our tube that make the stomach at the fetal line happen to changes for that. One of all, extra than this, that being expanded, a tube being expanded and being like this, we took curvature, then rotate around long axis like this, and then rotate around the anterior and posterior axis and find the shape like this in our body. These changes make some change at the attachment of the stomach to the posterior wall and anterior wall. What does it mean? It means at fetal life, just the part of our digestive system that is going to make the stomach anteriorly attached to the anterior wall and posteriorly attached to the posterior wall. But the other parts, these are just attached posterior to the posterior wall. Is clear?
Yes.
At the level of the stomach, this part, just this part, at fetal life has some attachment to the anterior wall and posterior wall of the abdomen. But the other part, the duodenum, jejunum, ileum, greater intestine, just they have attachment to the posterior wall like this. Let me show you by a picture. Look here. It's a cut of the abdominal cavity below than the stomach. Yes?
Yes.
Now, I would like to show you a section that it goes through the stomach. If this be a section at the level of the stomach, again, anterior, posterior, anterior, posterior, anterior, posterior, okay? And if this be the stomach, it grew up and make a flexure anterior, lesser curvature and greater curvature being like this. Posterior than this, it attached like this. First of all, you should be aware about two rules of the peritoneum. One, peritoneum, parietal or visceral, never interrupt on the baby. All of this inside our abdomen, if you follow the visceral and then reach to the parietal, all of them make a continuous line. Look here, for example, from here. Again, reach to this one. Second one, never any nerve, artery, or or anything else never pierce the peritoneum. Now, if I ask you how a vessel should be reached to this, for example, from the aorta. Look here, this is the aorta, retroperitoneum, and an artery once reach to this part of the intestine, I mean the intraperitoneal organ. So it should go through these two bonds. Am I right?
Yes.
Never pierce any part of the peritoneum. These rules are very important. I mean, any figures that I draw, I should be, I should attention to the course of the peritoneum. If I say, oh, sorry, here is intra, it's not correct. Or this artery, this nerve pierces the peritoneum. No, never ever. Because I told you, the peritoneal cavity should be an intact space. So, yes? So, be back here. I told you just at the level of the stomach, the gut, the digestive system attached posteriorly and anteriorly to the anterior and posterior one. Look here. Am I right? This is the stomach. Just at the level of the stomach. Below that, it should be like this. If you ask me, do we say again to this part peritoneal cavity? I say yes, because between visceral and parietal layer, all the parts we say to this peritoneal cavity. So, gradually, in our body, at this part, what do you call this? What do you name this part?
Mesentery?
Mesentery, we use for
Attachment.
small intestine. At the fetal life, because it was at the level of the stomach, it named ventral. Ventral means anterior. For the embryo we use ventral mesogastric. And for that one, they used ventral and dorsal. Dorsal mesogastric. Ventral mesogastric, dorsal mesogastric. Ventral mesogastric and dorsal mesogastric make a two-layer of peritoneal. Yes, peritoneal. All of them are two layers. Between anterior one here, and here grows to starting budding two organs of our body. Anterior of them, this is a bud for the digestive system that is originated from endoderm and finally make the liver. Make the liver. It's a bud of the liver. And posterior than this, I mean in dorsal mesogastric, there is a bud again that origin of this back to mesoderm and is going to make the spleen. Of course, tomorrow, because we will discuss in detail for this, but be aware that at the level of the stomach, we have ventral and dorsal mesogastric. In ventral mesogastric, we have had a bud that belongs to the liver, endoderm. It makes the liver. And posterior than this, a mesodermal bud that is going to make this one. Yes? Spleen. So, I told you what happened. I told you the stomach first at being in this line, then rotate, and then again rotate like this. Vertical and one of the anterior and posterior. Around this axis, it's caused that the lower part goes to the right and upper part stay at the left. These changes here cause that this part goes to the left and liver grow up and comes to the right. Look here again. After the rotation of the stomach and growing of the liver, these changes happen. Look here. This is the liver here being grew up, this part, and the stomach rotate and make a shape like this, and a spleen goes to the left like this, again because of rotation of the stomach around the long axis and around the anterior posterior axis. This part goes to the left and this grow up and reach to the right side. Here we have kidney. This is the kidney, right, left and right kidney. This one is aorta, and that one is IVC. Now, I want to show you the direction of the peritoneum. Look here, is the starting, if I start from this part, I mean this. Am I right? Here.
Yes.
I told you in all the way the peritoneum should make a continuous line between visceral and parietal. Look carefully, please. If I start by this, I mean the visceral parietal layer, it comes here, look here, cover the kidney, and then reach here, okay, reach here, and now here, these two layers goes to the right. It should be cover the liver, okay, cover the liver. Then reach to the stomach, cover the stomach. Then reach to the spleen, cover the spleen. Then here, and finally here. All of these two layers, I mean visceral and parietal, should be make a continuous line. This figure changed to this because of the rotation of the stomach around its long and anterior posterior axis. And second one, the liver bud that at that time was so small grew up and make this figure. So because of this, this rotation make changes to this pattern to this. So again, we have peritoneal cavity, greater peritoneal cavity, and this one should be lesser peritoneal cavity. Why you say lesser peritoneal cavity? Because of the back of the stomach. So this one is the stomach, liver, spleen, kidney, right, kidney left, aorta, and IVC. Before you ask me any question, please, in 2 minutes, review these, discuss with each other, and then, if still you have question, I will answer. It's necessary you draw on your paper sheet, and then you can find your problem.
But the
Please listen to his question because it may be being the same as you.
doctor, my question is about the gastrosplenic splenic ligament.
Gastrosplenic.
Yeah. Is it like attached, the spleen attached to the stomach after the rotation or before the rotation, so it will rotate together?
Yeah. Before rotation, I mentioned that this one is ventral mesogas, and this one was Dorsal mesogas. After rotation, by this figure, look here, stomach to the posterior wall. Stomach to the posterior wall. Yes? So, dorsal mesogas change to gastroesophageal and lienorenal. And anterior one, I mean between the stomach and anterior wall, stomach and anterior wall, make this ligament and this ligament. What happened? Look here. What is this?
Stomach.
And that one?
Liver.
And this one? Spleen. Okay? Between the stomach and posterior wall, dorsal mesogas change to these two. Gastro, splenic,
Ligament.
and lienorenal. Yes? And anterior or ventral mesogas divide to this and this. I say 1 and 2. Number one is falciform ligament. Please tell me falciform ligament on the picture. Falciform ligament attach liver to where?
Diaphragm.
Anterior one.
Stomach.
Not,
Anterior
it's not diaphragm. This was anterior one. It attached the liver to the anterior one. Yes? And of course, yes, he's right. In some parts attached to the diaphragm. Just now, by this picture, we say falciform ligament is a part of ventral mesogas between liver and anterior one. Yes?
Yes.
Number two, make, who can tell me?
Between the stomach and the liver part.
Excellent. Between stomach and liver. It make a ligament that we say lesser what?
Momentum.
Excellent. Momentum. So, lesser momentum just is a name, special name for a stomach that attached to the liver by peritoneum. The same as mesentery, the same as mesoappendix, mesotransverse spines. Yes? Clear?
Yes.
So, dorsal mesogas, this one is dorsal mesogas, and this one is ventral mesogas. Ventral mesogas, dorsal mesogas. So, these changes cause extra name, created extra name that I mentioned. So, okay.
My question about the kidney, why is not joined with the other organs and the vessels?
For example, which organs you have in your mind? Which one you are?
Spine, liver, and stomach.
A spleen to the liver. Yes, it's attached. A spleen attached to the liver.
No, my question about the kidney. Why is it not joined with the other?
A stomach or a spleen?
Kidney.
Kidney.
Yeah.
Right is outside.
Kidneys are retroperitoneal, fixed to the wall.
Mhm.
So, the left kidney, look to the picture, left kidney. The left kidney attached to the spleen because of some complicated action happened for when the stomach rotate and turn. Because of that complicated action, these attachment to here is the same as this. I mean, here we have aorta and IVC. Yes? Yes? But look here, after rotation, this attachment reach to here. This is the complication action that I mentioned. And because some parts of this attached to the posterior wall, resolve and disappear. So this new attachment being appear at the left side. It's clear? So we expected the course that these elements are arranged into a line, they should be attached to each other. But here, because of the rotation of stomach and look to the kidney, how it's bigger than this one? Because it become bigger, goes or turn to the right, reach here. And spleen goes to the left here. Now, we can not palpate, just find the place of the spleen under the ribs, 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, 11. So, our spleen is here, kidney is here, spleen is, stomach is here, liver is here. In the hypochondria, epigaster, and a bit left hypochondria. Just we have a spleen at the left hypochondria. Left hypochondria. But don't forget, kidneys, aorta, cava, all of them, and muscles, ribs, all of them are retroperitoneal. Yes? So, again look here, lesser peritoneal cavity, greater peritoneal cavity. This greater peritoneal cavity here joined to this. From above, it's joined down to the anterior of this part. Look here, this part is here, and this part is here. Anterior stomach, posterior, I cannot show you posterior stomach here because if I remove this, I can show you. But here you can see the posterior wall of the stomach. So there is a space behind of the stomach. We say lesser
Peritoneal cavity.
peritoneal cavity, lesser side. Greater side is completely anterior to this part. In dissecting room, when we open the abdominal, the anterior wall of the abdomen, we reach to the greater side. Lesser side hidden by the stomach. So I should search and find this. But we, at that time, we opened the anterior wall of the abdomen, we reach to the greater side. Now, look here. This is the diaphragm, this is the diaphragm, pelvic, thoracic. Umbilicus is here. This is the posterior one. Again, we have a blind sac that completely covered by peritoneum. But you know, here we have what? We have, look here, we have liver, this is the liver. We have a stomach, this is the stomach. We have lesser, small intestine. We have, no, this one is a section. If I made a cut, sagittal section, stomach, this is the stomach. Before the stomach, we have here liver, this is the liver, stomach. If I made a cut through the spleen here, so right, spleen should be here, and this one should be this.
Descending?
No, this one. Transverse column. This is transverse column. These are cores of the small intestine because we have a lot of small intestine. If we make a cut, it should be like this. Yes? And here, at the lower part, we have here urinary bladder in female, uterus like this, and rectum like this. Am I right? But because of the rules that I mentioned the first one was this, that if I follow the visceral or parietal, all of them reach to each other at the exact point that I start. Okay? Here again. You cannot find anywhere that I say here it was interrupted. Okay? So they should make. Now I would like to introduce you these that covered by peritoneum. I mean the parietal change to the visceral. How it's happened? Because interruption on the way. Because of this, I should draw another picture here, and you can imagine what happened. That all the parts being in a line. Diaphragm again, umbilicus, diaphragm, posterior wall, spleen, stomach, transverse colon, cords of the lesser intestine, and that's enough. Let me to follow. We will discuss. Look here. This, if this be the parietal peritoneum, from this part is reflected and covered, should reflect and cover the liver. Look here. Anterior one reflected and reach to the liver. Yes? Am I right? So it was 2 layers. So again, I can make a layer here, reach to the liver, cover this. It's as you expected, but in reality, it's not the same this. What happened in reality? Look here. I clean this part, and telling you that in our body, at fetal life, because this bud, this one, liver bud, originated between the ventral mesogas and completed by parts of our body that make the diaphragm, the liver, or liver in our body, in some parts has attachment to the diaphragm. It means that you cannot easily separate the liver from the diaphragm. Like this. Look here. This is the attachment of the liver to the posterior wall. This part, I will introduce you, this part of the liver that has so close attachment to the diaphragm, we say bare area, okay? Because of the bare area, so when it reach here back to the liver like this, and again, these 2 layers cover the liver, and then reach to the stomach, cover the stomach. Look here, reach to the stomach, and then we expected it's come down and cover all the parts of the small intestine, urinary bladder being like this, rectum being like this. I mean, here it's reflecting, cover the rectum, urinary bladder, and reach to this part. Look to the folds of the small intestine, all of them, because covering by the peritoneum is the same as this, that you wear a glove, okay? When you cover, gloves cover your finger, all of the fingers will be covered by a continuous layer, yes?
Yes.
It's the same as this. So from here, the mesentery attached, reach to the small intestine and cover all of this. But again, in reality, it is not the same as this. Who can tell me why? Who can tell me about the omentum? We discussed about the lesser omentum, yes? What was the lesser omentum?
It was the attachment between the
Stomach and the liver.
liver and
It originated from ventral or dorsal mesogas?
Ventral.
Ventral. A part of the ventral mesogas between the liver and stomach make lesser
Momentum.
momentum. I expected you ask me if we have lesser
We have
momentum, we should
great-
have
greater momentum.
greater momentum. As we had lesser side, greater side.
The connection between stomach and any organ is called omentum. The connection between any organ and the wall it's called ligament. It's right?
Yes, because just this specialized for the stomach, so we say lesser momentum. It shows that is exactly for the stomach. But other than we say yes, other word we say ligaments.
greater.
Now, my question is, where is the greater momentum?
Greater momentum is between the stomach and transverse colon.
Stomach and spleen.
Transverse colon. In the middle one here, you mean between this and this? Between this and this, yes? Is it no, here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
Actually, it extends, like it's consists of more than one ligament. It is the stomach with the thoracic, stomach with the liver.
You are speaking about the greater momentum.
So the small intestine.
Small intestine also. It has three ligaments.
It's very
Three ligaments.
no. About the greater momentum. Another name of the greater momentum is the pulleys of the abdomen. It's a curtain-like that made by peritoneum, and it's hang down from the, look to the stomach, lesser curvature, greater curvature. Lesser momentum attached
Listen.
between the lesser curvature and liver. Greater momentum is a layer of the momentum, a layer of the peritoneum that hang down. Imagine here, this is the stomach and it's attached to the greater curvature. It's like this. I mean, superiorly it attached, but inferiorly is free. I mean, I can go behind of this and can check the small intestine and second that you can see here. Sigmoid. Okay? So the greater momentum hangs down from the greater curvature like this, and it's free at the lower part, the same as this that I show you, and it can move. I mean, when there be any infection, for example here for the appendix, or at the liver for the gallbladder, it can move and reach to that part and restrict infection at the point. Because I mentioned that any infection in peritoneal cavity is very dangerous. Yes, because of that, it has this ability that move, not without feet or anything like this, just it can move, reach to any part that is, if there be any possibility for the infection, and restricted the point that it's maybe there be any infection. So my question is this: is this the greater peritoneum, as I show you here, made by how many layers of the peritoneum?
2 layers.
4.
four.
4. How by 4?
It's reflected. getting down and out, getting down and out. Till it completes the
If
fold.
getting down up is made more than 4 layers. You said 4 layers, yes? 4 layers. How? 2 layers you said comes down?
First of all, it came from this side and come down. After it reached the pelvis, it's reflect and go up.
Okay. It made how many layers?
This is 2.
No.
That's 7 chicken.
How you say 4?
4, yeah.
Because
Because of the visual and perineum.
4 layer.
look here, if this be stomach, okay, if this be stomach, and covered by 2 layers of the omentum like this, these 2 layers make the greater omentum, yes?
Yes.
But when it's come down, as your friends mentioned, then it's back up like this. So this reflection coming down and back up join to each other and make 4 layers. It's clear?
Yes.
Okay. So in this picture, where is the greater momentum?
It is on this side, lower side.
Could you please go to the whiteboard and draw the greater momentum as which part you expected? With the green, okay? Green show the green markers, show the momentum of
This side.
You mean it attached from the umbilicus or
Not attached, it's
Stomach.
starting from the umbilicus. Down.
it should be free, yes? Free.
It is a free.
4 layers that be
Exactly.
free.
Exactly.
So superiorly it's attached to which part? You show you draw there?
So really,
Yes.
it's starting from below the umbilicus. That's what I know.
Below the stomach. But what we spoke about this, that it started from the greater
Greater curvature.
curvature. But you show us that it's starting from the below the umbilicus.
Because it's continuous membrane. Like after that, it will come from it. It's a continuous. You don't know where it is started.
Oh yes, we should exactly be informed about the origin of this. You said.
It's from the greater curvature of the stomach and
Can you show the thing? Thank you so much. It was incorrect, sorry, but yes.
I think
When you say here, you should show us that is make the, respected to the laws that we say not being interrupted. You show a continuous line. Please clean and show what you say.
because here is stomach, so this is the greater curvature.
Yes.
So it should like because this is the transverse column.
It's made by how many layers you
It's
draw?
like
Another opinion? Let me do one. Again, sagittal section to the abdomen, umbilicus, and here, liver is the liver, stomach like this, and transverse column, folds of the lesser intestine, rectum here, urinary bladder here, and this be the diaphragm. Okay, here is the posterior wall of the abdomen. This is the liver, okay, stomach, transverse column, this one, and folds of the small intestine. We want to follow, let me start with this part. We want to follow the visceral and parietal layer of the peritoneum. Look here, it reached to this part, yes? And then cannot turn, cover all parts of the liver. So it had to come down, cover the liver, reflecting to the stomach. And this is another layer like this. Okay? So when these two layers reach to the stomach, cover this is the lesser omentum. Okay? And this should be the greater omentum. Greater omentum should be hanging down like this, and then back up, goes here, like this, goes here. This layer join to this, and this one reach here and make the mesotransverse column. This is the mesotransverse column. And come down, and again, it started by two layers that is going to cover all small intestine. I mean the mesentery. This is the mesentery, and then comes down, cover the rectum, and then cover the urinary bladder, and then back here. Till now, I am right, because I show you a continuous layer of the omentum, and I show you lesser omentum, greater omentum. This is the mesentery, mesotransverse column. It's better it's being separated from the posterior one like this. This is the transverse column. Because it has meso, it's better I draw line like this. And then when it comes down, make a mesentery for the small intestine. Look here. And then back down and cover this joint here. Now, please tell me what is the problem here and how do you see it?
This is greater omentum, then where is the peritoneum?
It is figure correct? It's correct, or as your friends mentioned that it should be 4 layers. Why? It is 2 layers. What do you think? Do you have any opinion about it? Is it correct or incorrect, as I mentioned before?
I think it's incorrect because
What?
this is greater omentum, then where is the peritoneum?
Where is the,
Peritoneum.
which part of the peritoneum? Maybe you say peritoneum, it maybe you mean the visceral or parietal, which part?
No, where is the visceral and parietal? This one
This
is
is the visceral, and this is the parietal.
no, the parietal and visceral should be 2 separate layers, like we studied.
Yes, they are separate.
This is just one, one complete layer.
Please attention. At the beginning of the class, I told you the parietal and visceral, as here I showed you, should be at the continuous line. And here again, they made a continuous layer. You cannot find anywhere that is being separated, interrupted.
This is visceral and this is parietal.
Yes.
This is the same, just one continuous layer. This should be the parietal, this should be the visceral.
Yes. And again, here, this is the parietal, this is the parietal, and these are visceral. These are visceral. No problem. But there is a mistake. There is a mistake because she and he was right, because it should be 4 layers. I mean, 2 layers come down and 2 layers go up. Look here. It's just this part. Please attention to this part. For the greater omentum, as your friend mentioned, these 2 layers, these 2, comes down, hang down. Look here, 2 layers coming down, and again return back to up and are going to attach to the posterior wall. Look here, And this attachment is exactly like this. Look here, because we say the ventral and dorsal mesogas. The ventral mesogas between the liver and anterior wall, between the liver and anterior wall, between the liver and stomach, between the liver and stomach, and again, because it's at the level of spleen, but here I omit the spleen. I say it's a bit below than the spleen. So because of that, this should be the greater omentum by 4 layers. But some changes happen. What changes happen? Look here. This is the layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and layer 4. Yes? In our body, I mean after birth, these 2 layers and these 4 layers mix to each other and make a
2-layer.
complete layer, just 1 layer like this. It may be when you open inside, there will be a lot of paper, but all of them make a layer like this, yes? Because they join to each other. It's the same for this. And when this attachment to the posterior wall reach to the transverse colon, attached to the transverse colon, and all of these completely should be disappear. Keep this figure in your mind, or if you want take a photo, then I would show you the real of this attachment by cleaning this part. And exactly you will be aware about the happening that happens when we grow up, or when there will be changes in the growing of the intestine. So now I clean all of this and tell you about what happened in our body in reality. Okay? I clean these 4 layers. Again, I clean this attachment, and telling you that yes, greater omentum comes down and back up, attached to the posterior wall like this. These join to each other. It means at the fetal life, we can push our hands or fingers between posterior than the liver, posterior than the stomach, between 2 layers of the greater omentum. But after birth, just they make a complete layer. And as you can see here, I mean about this figure is this, that if here we have greater omentum and we pull up this, by the greater omentum, the transverse colon, of course, coming up because of this attachment. Look here, the greater omentum, because attached to the transverse colon, when we pull up the greater omentum and want to reach to the back of the stomach, because of this attachment, the transverse colon comes up too by greater omentum. Okay? It's clear? We will go to the dissection room, and if still there be peritoneum, you can see when we bring up the greater omentum, we cannot go directly behind of the stomach. This figure show you that you have not any access to the posterior wall of the stomach directly when you go to greater side. Look here, this is the greater side. Yes, I can see or check the small intestine like this, but I cannot reach to the posterior wall of the stomach, to the lesser side, because of this attachment.
So the greater momentum is a continuation of parietal peritoneum.
Yes, peritoneum. it's a fold of peritoneum that hang down like this that I show you, but superiorly attached to the stomach and in some parts attached to the transverse column. So if we pull up these, we cannot go directly to the posterior of the stomach because of this attachment. It necessary that you practice, I mean you draw picture and speaking about this, that being insert in your mind. Okay, let's have a break, okay?
Till when?
And let me to check the dissecting room if there be any